What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Every Week We Follow. I am your host, James Clifton, and this is my good friend, Gary Bennett. We're here to talk probably for about half an hour or so about some of the dealings that are happening at the moment and some of the loopholes that Villa and other clubs are accessing at the moment. And also, we're going to be talking briefly about the Porto game coming up on Saturday, a little bit of a preview for that. But, Gary, how are you doing, mate?
Yeah, mate, good. It's all been happening, hasn't it? What a crazy 48 hours, mate. Smashing Walsall 5-0, Rodgers departing, Garnacho. Like, there's much to discuss, mate. So I'm buzzing, if I'm honest, because it's all Villa talk. That fucking World Cup's a distant memory. It's only not even been 4 days since the final.
We'll talk quickly about very quickly about the Walsall game. Very nice display. I mean, I think last season, did we lose 1-0 last season?
We lost 1-0 last year,
yeah. So it was a bit of a grind last season, right? It all seemed to click quite nicely. Youngsters look quite good. It was always going to be this kind of under 21 team, right? But I suppose the big talking
away. It's the first game of pre-season,
and it's Walsall, right? Yeah. But the big talking point, I suppose, from that game was Brian Maggio.
Mate, yeah. Look, at the end of the day, right?
He's not 17. He's not 17. I don't care who you talk to. He is not 17. Mate. He is massive.
mate. I don't know what he's been being fed, right? But like, I've never seen a 17. I mean, he's like, I remember the only kid I ever thought, wow, he's like a fully grown man. Like when they come as youngster was Rooney. At 16, he came on. I thought, Jesus Christ, this guy is like, boom. Like, but Maggio, he's different. He's 6'4". Mate, he's like Romelu Lukaku when he was in his prime, not like when he's starting out. Like this guy is just. But look, I'm not getting too carried away. I think in terms of he's a young lad, but what was really impressive about the Walsall game was how easily we dispatched them and controlled the game. Now, it's been a while since I've seen that happen. I know they say it's only Walsall, and we should be doing that, but how often do Villa not do that? They don't blow away things that are less than them. Right? They lower the level and it gets dragged out, like losing 1-0 last year. So to actually see us control the game and, see the quality shine through was really good and positive. And Maggio, mate, look, he's at the right place, right, with the right manager to develop him. And I hope we get to see him. That's my only hope. I hope that we can sort this registration nonsense out. I think it's player registration for the Premier League ends on the 1st of September, which is obviously when the deadline day, and a day later then for the Champions League squad. So we need to either get the appeal done. It's the first of its kind, mate. So I don't know.
Like I said, there's no deadline on it or whatever, but I'm sure Villa will be trying to push it through before the registration.
Well,
I'm not saying he's going to have like a very active role to play in the season, but it's more a case of like.
Well, I think there's probably two things in
there. There's one we could potentially use him in bits here and there, maybe in domestic cups and that kind of thing. But two, also, I'm guessing this means like you can't loan him to anywhere to play either. So if we wanted to do that, we can't.
Yeah, no. And he wouldn't want to, mate. Look, I think it depends how much Villa or how Unai is going to use him, because ultimately, if we don't win the appeal, we can use him in January when he turns 18. Right? Exactly. So he might go, actually, just wait. Because if he's not going to use him for the start of the season anyway. But if the seriousness is there that he's going to be in and around the first team from the start of the season, then obviously they're going to want to push it through. But it's only a few months to wait, I guess. But it would be lovely to have him. One for a personal confidence boost for him, that the club try and get it through. We've got a decent argument. It's because he's stupid. He played for fucking Liechtenstein under 18s or something.
It was Luxembourg. He played for Luxembourg. He played for Luxembourg's senior squad. He made 2 or 3 appearances, and that's the difference. Because he played for the senior team.
So is that because he's? I mean. Does that mean he's chosen? But I don't. Anyway, he's from Enfield, right?
I think it's because it's non-competitive games, so I don't think it matters. I think like he can still play for England if he wanted to. Whatever. I don't know. But yeah, there's a lot.
Very simple. It's like, look, he's not played at any competitive game thing. He's from it. He's from England. It's not as if he's a Liechtenstein player
Yeah,
that we're moving through is actually English. So
yeah, it's rubbish.
It's a fair argument, but they might go, look, rules are rules. He's played for these, and that's what it is, right?
Exactly.
So they could tell it, but we'll let the powers decide. Anyway,
But I thought his movement was really good, and his finish for that first goal was really nice.
The first goal, right? That
Strength.
for me is the most encouraging thing, because that's not stuff you can necessarily teach. It's instinct, it's movement, and the power. I mean, we're not talking like you're talking League Two defenders, mate. These guys will rough you up, right? And he's a 70-year-old kid, and all he's done is just go, nah, sorry, mate. Nah.
Here, mate. Get off me.
Look at the defender's like face as he's just falling to the ground. He's like, how's this happening? This guy's like, he's not even at puberty yet. He's still smooth. Look at him.
What's this brick wall that's just hitting me? Like, yeah. It was.
It's one thing,
very
mate.
interesting.
It's one thing to have the physical element to be able to hold a defender off like that, but the composure of the finish with his left foot is it's a really smart finish, and something we haven't had since John Carew. Well, maybe Benteke, maybe. Like, it's been a while. So look, the hype's going to be there, because that's what happens in football, right? You have a moment and people get excited. But I'm not getting carried away. But what I will say is that is definitely a player that Unai Emery can develop and maybe turn into something special. So let's see. You know when we had Louis Barry, for instance, went to that, like, you think actually looks like he can finish, and you got excited when he scored that goal against Liverpool. We all got excited, natural finisher. And you go, get him in the side, and it never really happened. But you look at this guy, mate. If you're talking about physical attributes and quality, then let's hope he can be in and around the squad as quickly as possible.
Yeah, beast mode. Speaking of players that Emery can develop and build, obviously one of those he has done so, and he has fled the building. He has fled the team. He has gone blue. He's gone to Chelsea. Morgan Rogers, £117 million, mate. I'm not gonna lie, that's such a good deal. If I'm honest, unbelievable. Like if you just look at it, the fact that we've had him for 2.5 seasons, we paid, I don't know, 15, 18 million, whatever it was for him. We've made £100 million profit basically on the bloke within 2.5 seasons. Like we've said, he's been kind of hot and cold a little bit. Yes, we're going to lose a lot from him. Like I'm sure people are going to be saying in the comments. And obviously, like we said, let us know in the comments what you do think. What do you think of Maggio as well? And if you are new here, please do hit that subscribe button as well. But yeah, well, we can't turn that down. Like it's an absolutely brilliant deal in my opinion. But the interesting one is the Garnacho deal, which is obviously just kind of broke. I remember when I heard it come up, I was like, it's just lazy media again. No, you keep just linking us with these players, these kind of rejects or outcasts from Man U or Chelsea or whoever. Garnacho is a weird one, because I would say, from what I've seen from the media and stuff, we don't really know. We don't know the guy. Seems like a bit of a rat, a bit of a rascal, right? A little bit kind of like, not sure about that in the dressing room and stuff. But we don't know. We really don't necessarily know. Also, I think like Villa could do with a little bit of bite, a little bit of nastiness here and there, but I don't know whether this is the right kind of nastiness. But I will say that previously at Man U, when he was coming through, I was like, that's a player. Oh my God. Like he had this potential. He looked really raw. He's still only 22, by the way. I didn't realize he was still so young. But obviously at Chelsea, he hasn't really done much. But Emery loves a project. He loves a player. Like you think about like the Rashford thing. You think about him. He was trying to do it with Sancho, right? Like you think about these kind of deals, and that he's brought in. So I'm assuming that he sees something in him, because he's the one who's pushed for this. Apparently, he's pushed for it for the last 2 years or something. So it's his deal. It's his signing. It's going to be a loan, which is the way that we're potentially going to get around this loophole of we're not allowed to buy a player from Chelsea for 45 days after we've sold them a player, some rubbish like that. So apparently that's the loophole we're going to get through. What are your thoughts on Garnacho? Obviously, he has wore a Villa shirt before. Do you remember in the social media?
Mate, lots to unpack there. First of all, let's go with what it's all over the media. Like people do not like this kid from Chelsea and Man United. And I think my own personal opinion, he's a knob, mate. He's a bit of a knob. And look, it's a risk, but it's a 50-50 risk, because we can't we can't go out there and spend the money that others can. We can't go and spend 100 million on a complete player. It's down to Unai Emery, like you say, likes these projects to pick the diamonds in the rough. And look, there's no doubt there's ability there, but you've got to change the mentality because he thinks he's better than he is without producing any real consistency. He's had moments of magic, right? That overhead kick against Everton for Man United is one of the best goals I've seen in the Premier League era. But look, if anyone can get a tune out of him, it's Unai Emery. We know what he's capable of, right? But it's probably at the moment, as it stands, right, currently the biggest downgrade in football from Morgan Rogers to Garnacho, right? Rogers was consistent and yes, not kind of all the time. Do you know what I mean? But he had moments where, for over 2 seasons that he's put good numbers up, right? But I think I heard someone say on the internet this week that, with Morgan Rogers, it was kind of, for that kind of money, we couldn't say no, first and foremost, you're right. Great deal. But, for that kind of money, you expect that player to be the one that gets you over the line, right? That gets you a Premier League title. And I just don't see that happening for Morgan Rogers at Chelsea for where they are. So that's sort of things. And then, but still, he's a million times better than Garnacho. Now, Garnacho comes in with a reputation, and that's unfortunately he's got to own that. So it's down to him now. It's down to him to there's no doubt he's spoken to Marcus Rashford, no doubt he's spoken to Jadon Sancho, and they've probably gone, yeah, look, Unai Emery's fucking amazing. Like Villa are a brilliant club. You go there.
The other way, it's probably been, probably Emery spoke to them about him.
Yeah. Look, like you said there, that Emery has tried to because I remember there being a distinct rumour last season about getting him. It kind of filtered out pretty quickly because then
there was also Martinez as well because the Argentinian thing with him as well. So
that's another thing. People have said, it'll be Buendia and Martinez taking him under their wing and kind of trying to convince him that he can get back into the nationals, he can get to the national team, and with particularly Messi like X in the door. But like it is a 50-50 thing for me. It's either going to work out and go really well, or he's going to fall off a cliff. I just hope that this obligation to buy is that, and we know that if it doesn't work out, that Unai Emery will fucking sit him on the bench. And
I was going to say, there's going to be, I think there's going to be clauses involved. So I don't know whether it's the same as the Harvey Elliott thing, which I don't really want to see, by the way, because I don't think it's good for either club.
No, we don't want to see that, but that's where we're at as a club. Like we cannot, because of the financial situation, we cannot go and blow 100 million on a complete player. We've got to go with diamonds in the rough. We knew that was going to happen. Look, it's a complete rebuild. But if anyone can get a dynamic going with a new set of players, and actually, if we just pick apart Garnacho for what he could offer as a left-sided winger,
direct left winger,
it's definitely better than what we've got. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's and so it's whether he can get that potential. Like you say, he's 22 years old. His career's all in front of him. It's all down to
young. I can't believe how young he was. I thought he was like 24, 25 or something. I was like, he's been around for ages. The thing with the right. So I think a lot of people have like made the thing of like, oh, it's a replacement for Rodgers. What's that? Like, that's not a replacement for Rodgers. I'm like, well, it's not, is it? Because Rodgers has gone for 117 million. We're getting him on. We're getting Garnacho on loan with a potential obligation. We've been able to fund the Manzambi deal, and it still gives us funds to be able to get a right winger. So actually, the Rodgers deal is potentially just giving us 3 players, not just Garnacho. So, like, as in, understand because everyone's going to replacement because he's playing on the left, and that's where Rodgers will play.
Yeah.
The replacement is Garnacho, Manzambi, and X.
No. Look, we knew.
Mate, if that's Mbaye, oh my God. Like, all of a sudden, this summer's incredible.
This was the point, right? And we knew, I think we'd all, I know I'd certainly come to terms with the fact that Rodgers would be going. I think we knew that if an offer came in, 100 million would be gone. And it's what we do with that money, right? It's a rebuild. It is exactly what it is. And we knew last season talking about it, our squad's aging. We need to kind of get some young blood and bed it in. And maybe this is the changing of the guard. Maybe this is the kind of actually, invested in some young players that have got potential, and can they reach it with a mix of a little bit of experience, right? So you've got that still, and it's then down to us to enable these youngsters to be free enough to go out and express themselves. That's the big key, right? Now, that's not always easy in an Unai Emery squad. because we know he hasn't bedded in players quickly before. And the possession-based part of it has always been a concern. But up until, and I know it's only one game, but watching that Walsall friendly, watching how the youngsters played, right, and it becomes apparent that maybe that's starting to filter down the age groups at the club, right?
I mean,
And
Porto would be an interesting test, right? But I think I think most of our players still won't be back because they have to have like a 2-week break from the World Cup. Like,
yeah. Well, whoever plays, mate, hopefully we'll see some more of the youngsters, but they need to be vetted against better opposition, right? So how will they? You know, Walsall was, you know, like you say, no disrespect to them, but they're a League Two side, and we dispatched them. So now it's kind of, you know, when you play better sides like Porto Saturday and then Real Sociedad on Tuesday, it's like it's minutes in the tank, and let's see, you know, if he gives Maggio some more minutes because he can in these friendly games, and look, give him that sniff and that hunger, and see how he can compete against these better teams.
The thing that I quite like, or I feel like I'm seeing with the acquisitions we're making, or the players we've been linked with, it's pace and strength. It's like these players are like either quick or they're pretty strong, and they're like Manzambi's like box to box kind of driving player, similar to Rodgers was. Garnacho, he's pretty much raw pace, kind of like direct winger. And by the way, we're looking at pace again, and I'm kind of like looking at it going, yeah, this is what we haven't really had. We haven't had this as an option, really. We've continually gone. We haven't got speed. We can't play on that kind of counter like we did in 23-24. You think about like that season, and then like the season where we had Rashford running up the left wing when we had that Champions League season. I feel like we're maybe getting that back, which gives us another way of playing again, because you've got the teams who play that kind of low block, and then we're going to try and bait them onto us, and then we're going to be able to counter on them, or we can try and unlock them through different like kind of technical players. I think it's given us this other way of playing now and a little bit of bite about us. Yeah, that's the way I'm kind of seeing it. Obviously, I have no idea how it's going to happen. You don't know how it's going to happen until probably, I don't know, October, November time. You're not really going to know how
this is it, right? It's all theoretical at the moment because we have no idea if they're going to hit the ground running in the Premier League, right? Because it's
the attributes of these players that we're kind of signing: young, hungry, like I said, strong or quick. It feels like a different way. Like we're setting up to have a different way of playing as an option.
Yeah, right. It's exciting. I'm excited for it. Like, it'd be interesting to see who stays and goes between now and the start of the season, right, or the end of August. Because you've got the likes of other players like Nedeljkovic, for instance. I thought he played well in the friendly.
Right, yeah, and we talk about that right back position, don't we?
And we need cover for cash. It's not as if we can go out and start. With the players that we've bought in already, it's unlikely that we can go out and buy another player. So do we keep him for a season as backup to cash? Because we need cover. With Garcia going out, I would say that makes sense, right?
Yeah, I would. But for whatever reason, I think Emery's just doesn't seem to fancy him for whatever. I mean, we've been looking at Emerson Royale, so it's like, is that going to happen?
Like I say, it'll be interesting to see who comes in and goes. So, will he back him and go, actually, we'll save ourselves some money and I'll use you as backup? Because, if Cash stays fit, we know that he's probably going to be the one, right? So it's about whether we trust him to play backup, or is he going to go out there and buy somebody else?
How weird did Cash look, by the way, against Walsall?
Mate, I'll tell you what. Do you know what it is? I'm going with, I've inspired him after chasing him down in the mailbox last season. He saw me and went, that's the look. That's what I'm going for. The fat 46-year-old.
I'll go for the Bennett.
And that's what he looks, mate. He looks like me. I'm like, what have you done, Matty? No, don't do it.
So weird. I was literally like, oh my God, Matty Cash looks so strange.
I mean, obviously he's got more of a shadow on top, mate. But
at least he's just owned it. He's just gone, yeah, look, I've done this. He's just owned it.
Mate, it's brilliant. But I'm like I say, I'm taking full responsibility of that. We met. Next thing you know, he's going to Turkey to have his airline sorted out.
Yeah. I mean, so obviously on to Porto coming up for the weekend. Like we said, first real test. It's still pre-season, so it's hard to kind of tell how this will be. But like I said, I'm not 100% sure what senior player. I mean, like obviously McGinn and not sure about Watkins. I mean, he didn't really play, but I'm sure there's something around they have to have 2 weeks.
Yeah, Watkins should be back though, mate. He's played like 9 minutes or something stupid like that, a little bit longer, maybe 29 minutes.
Yeah, but he's still done the training, right? I think they do have to have 2 weeks gap, and obviously the World Cup was like a week ago. So I don't know if it'll come too soon. I'm not sure, but obviously some of the teams that went out earlier. Not that we've got anyone from Belgium anymore because Onana's injured and Tielemans is gone, so that don't matter. But yeah, I suppose actually the majority of the squad, thinking about it, they should be back. They should be available, other than Martinez and Buendia. Oh no, Buendia wasn't in the squad, so Martinez.
Yeah, Buendia's back. No, I think Martinez will be. He got to the final, so we won't see him for a while. I was surprised that we didn't see Bizot at all on Tuesday. So also Gauchi, one of the worst goalkeepers in the world, should get rid of him right now. Honestly,
the thing he's young, isn't he? But I think also it's
get rid of him now. He's not good enough, mate. I'm telling you now.
I think a lot of these games, and potentially the Porto game is part of it. Like a lot of these games are because the transfer window's open. These youngsters get a chance to shine, maybe get a loan or a move somewhere. Like a lot of it's about putting them in the shop window.
I don't know his name, and I don't know who came on, but the goalkeeper who played second half, the young lad, was much better than Gauchi. And again. Really good to see him catch the ball. There's a couple of crosses that came in and he just came out and caught them. And I was like, that's what you want to see, rather than Gauchi flapping his fists at nothing because he can't. A goalkeeper that can't catch, I don't understand. Make that make sense. Anyway, right. Yeah. So yeah, you're right. It's a chance to shine. I don't think we'll see the other lads back for a couple of weeks. It might be. Let's look at the fixtures because there's. Obviously, they're coming thick and fast, right? I don't think we'll see him for the Real Sociedad game either. I think you're more looking at the potentially going to the Indonesia games.
Indonesia, so a couple of games before the Super Cup. Yeah. But I think I'll tell you what. One quick thing on the Walsall game. Did you see the fifth goal? See Borland's goal?
Yeah, great finish, mate.
That was lovely.
Yeah,
outside
really
of the boots, where I was like, oh, that's
mate, good build up. I don't know who the guy who scored. The guy who assisted him with the he had braids and he got the deflected goal as well. Lynch, was it? Might be.
Luca Lynch. Yeah,
Luca Lynch. I really should get to know the youngsters a little bit more, but it's difficult to fit it all in. Hard, sorry, guys. But yeah, great build up play. The finish is sublime, mate. It is outside, like you say, outside of the boot, bottom corner. Yeah, really good goal. Lots of encouraging signs. We don't want to get too carried away, but the fact that and Burrows as well. I thought Burrows had a very good game. So there's potential there. Realistically, how many of them are going to get used? I don't know. But I think the main one for me is that there's a pathway there, really, because there's no point in having these players if you haven't got the opportunity to be given a chance to play, to be in and around the first team. I'm thinking more about Maggio more than anybody because we desperately need attacking options. Obviously, because we still don't know if Watkins is going to stay. We don't there's still could Tammy and is Tammy going to be the main man? I don't know. No. I would envisage that Watkins stays, if I'm honest, because of how much Emery rates him for the system, right?
I think he has to stay. I think with all the movements, I can't see how we would get a striker in of high quality, other than the only one that was moved to was Nicholas Jackson, right? But I don't think we can, like I said, I don't think we can do anything now with the Garnacho deal. So
I don't see any move that benefits Watkins because if Fenerbahce is the best he can do, that's a sideways step, right? And I don't know, not knowing him, but looking at his life, he's got a young family. Is he really going to want to ship them over to Turkey? I'm not convinced by that. So I don't think that's the best deal for him. I think if it was someone like Arsenal or another Premier League team sniffing around him, but I think those moments have gone, mate. I think he's been found out, in terms of what he brings. We can't. It's a big season for him, turning 31. I think he needs to.
Yeah, it's also Champions League, right? There's not going to be many other teams who are going to be in for him who've got that, and he'll know if he stays, he will play. So it's and
he will, mate. But we've got to have options because
we have.
I know this is. I don't want to go start the season with Watkins hating, but he's not Champions League quality.
He's also. It's just not. I think he is, but not consistently. That's the problem, right? Like we said, the end of last season. He definitely showed it, mate.
Yeah. 100%, mate. But you can't go 30 games and only have eight goals. We can't have that again. and he can't use the World Cup as an excuse. He's played 29 minutes, so he needs to come and he needs to come back and he needs to do what strikers do. He needs to score goals. And it should be pressure on him because you could, hopefully Maggio will get the same opportunity that Duran did to come on in games with 20 minutes to go or whatever and change the game. And if he starts scoring goals, then give him that.
What does that mean for Tammy then?
Look, I think Tammy was bought because he's just happy to be back, mate. He'll fill in whenever. Like, we've got a lot of football to play, mate, so Tammy will have his opportunities, no doubt about that. But Tammy's the same as Watkins. He's got to knuckle down, work hard, and if he gets his opportunity, take it. Like I don't know if Emery trusts him completely. It was kind of he had a couple of opportunities, didn't he? Started in the FA Cup, came on against Sunderland.
He did score some important goals, yeah.
Like scored that important goal against Sunderland, but ultimately didn't really offer a great deal. Ran around a bit, made some good running, but we didn't. I don't know if the system fits. Maybe with new players coming in, with the youngsters with wings, and it'll work better for him. So and maybe I'd be buzzing if we can get back to the style of play of 23-24 when we had Diaby and we looked dangerous on the counter attack, mate. That would be because I remember. I think we both remember, and we just looked like we were going to score every time we went forward, didn't we? Because it was just
so good. It was so exciting to watch. It was brilliant.
This is when Leon Bailey could play football. I'm more sure that he's still fucking not gone anywhere. Why haven't Hull completed this signing yet, mate?
Decades ago, that was, mate. Decades ago.
Go to Hull. Manifest it, people. Manifest it.
Quickly, so finally, just like you were saying, fixtures are coming thick and fast. We've got 7 games in 21 days. 7 games in like 3 weeks. So obviously with the Porto, Real Sociedad, then we've got Indonesia 11, we've got Batum United, we've got then Bayern before the PSG game in the Super Cup, and then we've got Mönchengladbach before the start of the season. So, and then there's like an 8-day gap. I don't know whether they'll try and get something in. Sometimes Emery likes to put something in.
I don't know. I think they won't. I think they've done that purposely for rest because you think about it, we've got a lot of travelling to do in those games. Like we're going to Indonesia, then we're going to like Japan or Tokyo or wherever we're going. Then it's to Salzburg. Then it's to Germany. Like 8 days to get back to Bodymore Heath, have a full week training at home in a club to prepare. That kind of makes sense for me.
We haven't got any. We haven't got any. Is the Bayern game at home?
No, it's away.
Well, it's saying here it's at home, but I don't know whether it's like at a competition.
It's the K-Tac Stadium, mate. It's in wherever it is. Is it Japan or?
Oh yeah. It's that. Yeah, it's that tournament. Yeah, okay, fine.
Yeah.
So we haven't actually got a pre-season game at home.
Well, no, we won't because the stadium's not be fucking ready. Is it? It's still seats all hanging out the arse. It's like
of course,
we're not at Villa Park till the end of August, so it gives an extra month to get all the seats sorted.
That's another thing that's going to be strange, isn't it? Without that stand there, that's going to be a bit odd.
Yeah, it's going to.
I bet the whole thing where people win the toss and they get you to switch sides. That's going to happen a lot. I think this season. I think they're going to be like, get them playing into that shit in the second half. Like,
what are they going to do? Do you reckon they'll put a team?
Yeah, they're going to put like a big poster, like fake fans on it. Like the kind of thing where it's looks like a FIFA kind of like in the PS2 days. Looks like FIFA PS1 kind of cardboard. Like kind of thing. I don't know.
Well, they did that at the likes of Hybrid, didn't they, when they were developing the clock stand and stuff? And
I'm surprised they haven't been like. I mean, with Villa with money and stuff. I'm surprised they haven't gone like, oh, you can pay for your seat and you'll have a photo of yourself and sell all the seats off. So they basically go like, here you go, £10 for the season. There you go.
Just have a big memorial at everyone, all the season ticket holders that were in the North Stand, so they can just carry on looking at it.
Put it in there.
I don't know. Who knows, mate? It'd be odd because obviously our seats have moved slightly as well. Not massive dramatically, but it's going to be interesting to see. Yeah. So, when we had the email,
please tell us we're more central.
Well, no, I don't think it's not that extreme.
No, but what I mean is, I don't want to go closer to the corner. Save my neck.
Oh right, yeah. Oh no, and I don't want to have that argument with that twat that sits behind me. Stop standing up. Right.
This entire game, like.
No, I don't. Look, basically, we're still 8 rows from the front. It's I don't know how much. I don't know where we've moved. But it's only moved slightly, so it's whether it's left or right, mate. Hopefully, it's more towards. I would have thought it'd probably be towards the dugout because they want to put more seats in that.
Yeah. Does that mean then you're not going to be sat next to Gary?
Yeah, I think so. He's renewed. I spoke to James as well, who sits in front of us, and he's.
But if we're moving,
no, they're just moving everything. Like they're taking it out.
Oh, sorry, I got you. Right, okay. Sorry, I thought you said that our seats changed a bit.
No, we're not moving in terms of the seats.
Okay.
Like we paid for this, but the whole stand is moving, mate, because they're changing the whole setup of the Trinity Road. So it'll be interesting to see how that looks.
Yeah, I like our thing where we often get the offside line. I do like that. It's quite nice. Anyway, right. I think that probably does us, mate. Nice 30 minutes there. We will be back on Monday, where we will obviously be discussing the fallout of the Porto game, and then talking about Real Sociedad as well, and then any other news that's inevitably going to happen.
Going to be coming out, yeah.
There's going to be lots of stuff happening. Once that Garnacho deal goes through, I'm sure we'll, like I said, that'll probably be something that we talk about as well. It looks like it's going to go through, and hopefully we'll get information about the clauses and understand all that as well. But as always, guys, if you are new here, please do hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the type on your keyboard, hit the keyboard to leave comments. That's what we need you to do. But let us know what you think about all these things that we've been talking about as well on the old Tinterwebs, and
the
Gary,
World Wide Web.
Gary, you're better at outros than me, so you give me a final words and a sing song.
Yeah, final thoughts, mate. Garnacho's a knob. Let's hope Unai Emery can.
Open in the door, and you're also like, fuck him.
Right, look, mate, but he is a knob. Like the stuff that
does it matter if he performs?
Well, yes, it does, because it can disrupt dressing rooms. Right? He's. I think Chelsea fans have been saying that he works hard on the pitch, right? And he does do that. That's fine. So obviously that should be a given. So yeah, we want that. But the stuff that he's done, the stuff he did at Man United, he leaked tactical stuff. He was, wearing he wore the Rashford shirt. Then he went to
he had his
Chelsea.
Falling out, didn't he? Man U, really.
Yeah. Obviously he wasn't being used much. He was heavily commenting about that. Now we look at the Harvey Elliott situation, how he handled it. Consummate professional. I don't see this guy being that. And what we don't want is fucking lots of negativity around. Like, we're already going to be kind of under the cosh because of the players we've let go. We need to be, like we've done for the last few seasons, under the radar, doing our business, getting it done right. Mm-hmm. And he needs to be part of that. So yeah, I'm like I said, I'm 50-50 on it, but the guy's a knob, and that concerns me. But if he turns up week in, week out and scores and actually performs, then how much will I actually care? But like I said, as long as it doesn't disrupt the dressing room, so we'll see how that goes. Rodgers, I've got to say, look, because I've gone out, and when we talked about both Rodgers and Tielemans' exit, I was like, they're dead to me. I think I've calmed down a little bit now, right? I still didn't like how Tielemans left, and his apology was a little bit kind of too late for me. But God, I love that player. I think he's a fabulous footballer, and I'm still gutted he's gone to Man United. The Rodgers one, he did it perfectly, mate. I got a little bit emotional listening to his goodbye. Just a Birmingham lad. I loved how he played for the biggest club in the city. So that's basically fuck you, Blues and West Brom. Well done. I think Rodgers is a decent guy, and I just, he's left some big shoes to fill, and that's why I think the Garnacho thing filters down to. It's not the same. It feels like a downgrade. But you're right. I'm not getting on the bandwagon of just completely going on Garnacho and saying he's not going to do something for us, because there's potential there. But that's all it is. And that's all Rodgers was. And I'm always come back to the central fact: in Emery, we trust. So if it's good enough for Unai Emery, then as soon as he pulls a Villa shirt on, mate, I'll back him 100%. And we'll try and have to come up with a chant maybe, but we don't even do that very well.
I was literally about to say, I heard, I think it was on, I think it was Villa Park podcast. I think it was Rich, and he had Nacho man. I want to be a Garnacho man. Nacho. I was like, yes, Rich, that's brilliant. I love it.
The Villa Park podcast boys. I've missed those guys. We need to get them on, mate. That's Rich. That's legendary. I love that. Nacho man. There we go. We've got it. See, this is what the new season brings. Brilliant. So yeah, we'll see you all Monday. Enjoy the game Saturday. I'll be going live on TikTok to kind of stream it. So join me for that, and we'll pick it apart as it happens. And we'll see you on Monday. And as always, every week we follow the boys in Claret and Blue. Hey, see ya.